Hi, I'm Travis. You're watching Curious Tangents, and this episode was supported by the Curiosity Box from Vsauce, who also helps support Alzheimer's research and other educational creators. More on them in a bit. So every now and then I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about some 19-year-old posing next to a Lamborghini on Instagram, probably after taking an exotic vacation with someone extremely attractive. This is a strange yet common phenomena. If I were to achieve all of my life goals exactly as I've planned, none of them would involve me standing in front of a sports car standing next to a supermodel. And yet I still feel a bit of envy. Every now and then I look up the ages of other successful YouTubers and movie stars that I admire to see how old they were when they had their successful breakthroughs. As if all opportunity will suddenly leave once I pass the age that Marquise Brownlee became successful. I'll measure myself against other YouTubers, former classmates, friends, enemies, celebrities, particularly looking up how tall they are because apparently that's a shortfall of mine. And then I feel great when I find a successful person who is shorter or the same height as me. I know this is illogical, but it's not uncommon. Plenty of people feel behind, particularly young people. So why do we feel this way, and how are we going to stop? The intuitive answer for this problem is to simply get ahead. The issue here is that the brain does not do well with undefined things such as get ahead. Thus, undefined goals are often unachieved ones. Often advice is given on the internet about how you should just stop comparing yourself to other people. And like a lot of internet advice, this is way too simple. Human beings, like most apes and most mammals and most of the animal kingdom, are competitive. And that doesn't mean that you can't change this, but what's a natural trait takes more effort to change than what's a learned trait. A recent problem has arisen in who we can compare ourselves to. See, for most of human history, we've lived in groups of about 100 to 150. This number is really important for group psychology. It's actually called Dunbar's number, and it dictates how many relationships a person can have throughout their life. Today, it's possible that you see more people walking through a busy street in New York than the average hunter-gatherer would have seen in their entire lifetime. Even more recently in history, we've developed the internet. Both of these things are tremendous net positives for humanity, but they do have some unintended consequences. Many evolutionary psychologists think that because of the size of our groups, we evolved to compare ourselves to roughly 150 different people. 150 different people who would have been born to relatively the same lot in life because wealth had not really been created yet. Today, with just a couple of clicks, you can compare yourself to multimillionaires, billionaires, supermodels, royalty, celebrities, and literally anything else that you may want but don't have. Alongside social media, there has also been a rise of early exceptionalism. Magazines have been consistently coming up with an expanding list of topics for their 30 under 30 list. Early achievement has been pushed harder and harder by schools, occasionally referred to as the academic arm race. Students are being pressured to find what they're going to specialize in at an earlier and earlier age. Student athletes are also susceptible to the same thing, as athletes are paid more when they are found younger. There's a word for people who achieve much young. No, it's not Tom Buchananism, it's wonderkind. And this word has become more and more common in recent years. Now, it's no secret that mental health has been on a bit of a decline, and by a bit of a decline, I mean a really sharp decline. And like most complicated problems, this is for a multitude of reasons. Two of the main factors being increased feelings of loneliness and poor diet. Something that doesn't oftentimes get talked about is intrinsic and extrinsic goals. Psychologist Gene M. Twenge thinks that society's shift from intrinsic goals to extrinsic goals has been a big part in our mental health crisis. People are less likely to do things for mastery or because they enjoy them, and more likely to do them because they present some sort of advantage. So how to combat feeling behind? Well, spending less time on social media can help, but you probably won't take that advice. Instead, you can simply change the way you think about social media. Several studies have shown that of all social media platforms, Instagram is the most damaging to your mental health. If you're curious, YouTube was rated as the most beneficial. In fact, it was the only social media platform that was rated as beneficial to well-being. Instagram and other social media sites work a lot like drugs. I don't mean in the way that they continuously keep you scrolling to generate more ad revenue and keep you coming back, which then generates more ad revenue. Instead, it's more so the way that information is framed. Many drugs are distilled versions of things that aren't all that dangerous in their natural forms. Take coca leaves, which, while not great for you, are not nearly as bad as its derivative, cocaine. Instagram is like the derivative of a person. When you look at the images, you don't get to see the whole thing, you get to see what the person who took the picture wants you to see. And that's usually all of the best things. It's important that you don't think that those best things are their whole life. Otherwise, it'll make you feel like your life is just insufficient. The same could be said of this video. Hopefully the edited version of this sounds coherent, but if you were to see the unedited film, I probably sound like I've only recently learned English and don't know how to move my mouth properly. Viewing social media and being mindful of the fact that the picture you're getting is not necessarily the entire picture can be pretty helpful. The second approach here is gratitude journaling. Although gratitude journaling might sound fluffy, there's a surprising amount of scientific evidence to back up that this works. In studies where one group is given gratitude journals and the other is merely told to write down how they feel both 3 to 4 times per week, those who were given gratitude journals reported feeling less envy, less stress, and more happy. They even reported feeling more able to tackle their life goals. And lastly, don't just set extrinsic goals, set intrinsic goals. Things that you pursue simply because they are what you like. See yourself as valuable enough to spend time on and do things that you enjoy simply because you enjoy them, or do them for mastery or out of curiosity. And a great place to start is with the Curiosity Box. The Curiosity Box is a quarterly subscription service filled with different science toys, books, and even video games. If you order now using my link in the description, you get the best of the box, which contains a variety of customer favorites from previous boxes. Personally, I've been really enjoying the plasma ball. I had one when I was a little kid, but only now has it been replaced. To get this and many other science-related toys and games, go to the link at the top of my description, and you will also be helping to support my channel. And thanks for watching.